Day-O, of course, we know it from Beetlejuice. It's played in sports arenas all across the country still, nearly 70 years after it was first recorded.
It was so popular that it lasted 99 weeks on the charts. Only Michael Jackson's song Thriller took it over.
Work all night and a drink of rum.
It became the first million-selling album in history. We think of Elvis and rock and roll as the 50s, but this remarkable singer from New York was really as big a star as there was. Harry Belafonte really was the first black mainstream matinee idol.
Starring Harry Belafonte.
This was in Jim Crow America.
Have you ever been to Denmark?
No, I haven't. This is my first trip, and we're all looking forward to coming there.
He was quite canny about being a sex symbol. He really was interested in performing a role as a black man who had sex appeal. And in Hollywood, that was a very difficult thing to do. In fact, scripts were changed so as not to show an actually overt sexual romantic relationship between a black leading man and a white leading woman.
He made a major impact in the music industry, in the film industry, and broke a lot of glass ceilings.
He operated at the highest levels of the entertainment industry intentionally. He loved singing at Carnegie Hall.
I travel all over the country and the world, and if I say I work for Harry Belafonte, everybody's like, oh my God, every grandmother, every great-grandmother knows who he is.
He consciously pursued a white audience. He felt that if he could win people to the beauty of himself as a performer, he could get them to see the world in new ways and to credit black humanity, black beauty.
Get them to sing your song and they'll want to know who you are.
We know Harry Belafonte for his stardom, but there's a whole other side to his story.
Despite his substantial fame, Belafonte wrote, "I wasn't an artist who became an activist. I was an activist who'd become an artist." Belafonte felt that any black American with a pulse and a conscience had to become a part of the civil rights movement, and he was looking for a way in.
Taxi cabs and carpools are pressed into service as blacks in Montgomery continue to boycott the buses. The boycott focuses national attention on its leader, a 27-year-old Baptist minister, Martin Luther King, Jr.
For several weeks now, we, the Negro citizens of Montgomery, have been involved in a non-violent protest against the injustices which we have experienced on the buses.
By this point, Dr. King had received national attention. He was doing well, but not that well. He had come to New York to fundraise.
Harry Belafonte received this call, and he knew who he was. He said, I'll go meet this man. He was skeptical of nonviolence. He was someone who was very passionate about justice, about fighting for it, but he was, by his own admission, an angry person. He had grown up in poverty. He had grown up railing against the racism of American society.
Everything around us is violence, so it's really hard to then accept nonviolence in our lives when we've never tasted that before. Dr. King was able to show him that nonviolence can be a way of life for courageous people.
And the way that Belafonte narrates this now was that from that day on, he was really at the service of Dr. King. He came to buy Dr. King's health insurance. When Martin was locked up, he would call Coretta, his wife, and say, "What do you need?" She said, "I'm here alone with 3 kids." Belafonte that day, he arranged for a nanny and a housekeeper and a secretary and a driver and said, "This is on me." He set up bail funds for when people were locked up after sit-ins. It's a remarkable story of his largesse, of saying, okay, I have a million-selling LP, I'm a massive star. What do I do with that money? I'm gonna fund people I believe in, organizations I believe in, and we're gonna change this country.
My name is Harry Belafonte. I'm an artist, and I'm not a politician. But like most Americans, I have a great interest in the political and the economic destiny of my country. I'm seated here with Senator Jack Kennedy.
In 1960, he was approached by John F. Kennedy's campaign, wanting to say, can you help us garner the black vote? Belafonte said to them, if you are serious about this, you need to pay attention to Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mr. Belafonte often talks about how the Kennedys were not interested in the civil rights movement. And it was when Dr. King and him invited Robert Kennedy to see young black people and what they were experiencing, it really changed the hearts and minds of the Kennedys that then got more involved in the movement.
The crowd assembled around the reflecting pool before the Lincoln Memorial occupies every inch on the lawns and under the trees.
That march on Washington would not have taken the shape that it did or had the kind of bold-faced names involved if it weren't for Harry Belafonte.
Dr. King had requested that I organize as many artists as were available.
It was Joey Belafonte who picked up the phone and called all his Hollywood friends and said, it's important that we're all there.
Sammy Davis Jr., Paul Newman, Marlon Brando, Harry Belafonte, Charlton Heston.
To show America that these people that they know from their movie screens are here for this movement.
Will this tremendous outburst now lead to a course of action, Mr. Belafonte, that will speed up?
The now that we speak of is not a now that describes a success or fulfillment of the issues and the grievances that face the Negro people. The now is a statement that from here on in there's a point of no return. That there is success or there is utter failure. There is no compromise on the issue. The march in Washington today is one thing, but it doesn't end there.
He also put himself in grave physical danger. There are stories of him flying down to Mississippi in the angriest days of the civil rights movement and the backlash, carrying literally $50,000 that was needed urgently, landed at a dark airport, was driving to where he needed to go, and was shot at.
Mr. Belafonte funding and providing resources and relationships to the civil rights movement is probably one of the greatest untold stories of the civil rights movement. Mr. B has always been somebody who has this forward-thinking vision for the world, but I'm just honored that I was selected by him to lead his organization. He could have chosen anybody in the world, really.
All my life I have firmly believed that as an artist and as a human being, I cannot isolate myself from the struggles of my people. That their victories are my victories and their defeats are my defeats.
Dr. King had once said recruiting Harry Belafonte was one of the best strategic decisions that he had ever made.
There was a word I could use to describe him. It's resilient.
I really miss him, and so it evokes emotion when I think about him, because he had such a profound impact in my life. There's a lot of us out in the world who have met and have been mentored by Mr. Belafonte that I think we all have one little role to play.
All of us have to make choices with the opportunities we're given. Elvis Presley built Graceland. Harry Belafonte built the civil rights movement.
I'm only happy to do my little part in changing the world, and I invite others to be part of the movement as well.